Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. We're in the final destination in Red Zone for the EZA LR KALE CAULIFLA, or at least until we get the new final stage in the new Dismal Future edition of Red Zone. So we've got a little bit of a wait before that. I know people are kind of going crazy doing runs against stage 2 against Cell. I mean, personally, I get he's difficult, you know, he's a one-phase enemy, you know, he's got a lot of health. It's really hard for a stage 2 enemy. Kind of to be expected, considering how far we've come with, you know, recent releases and, you know, upscaling damage. But personally, for me, I'm probably going to wait until we get the final stage, more than likely against Merge and Marsu. If you do want to see me take some units in against Cell, then by all means, let me know down in the comments and I'll do that for you. But I'm going to hold out for the hardest. And then once we're done here with KALE CAULIFLA, they got to go up to bat against Sin Shenron in the Shadow Dragon event, which we've only just started covering content on with the Gammas. So a lot of units will be repeat offenders. There'll be reoccurring units that we've already seen in there, along with like their own separate actual like kind of focal point videos. But that's just the way it's going to be in the very beginning. But final stage currently in Red Zone, or at least till we get the final stage in Dismal Future against KALE. They're not on turn 1, which is a bit of a shame. Again, if this was the anniversary, I would have literally just kept repeating or coming back out until we managed to get them on turn 1, so we could have an extra turn of stacking. That would be very helpful, having that extra turn to be able to stack up defense an extra, you know, potentially 2-3 times, maybe even 4 before we get to KALE. But considering we only have 3 attempts, we're back to normal. You know, annoyingly, we're just going to have to firm it and essentially, hopefully, we manage to do it in the attempts we are given. But of course, as I said, them appearing early on turn 1 means they could have extra turn of stacking between 1, maybe 2 super attacks to potentially 4, maybe even 5. So we actually do miss out on quite a few stacks with them, unfortunately, before we get to KALE. And it would actually make quite a bit of a difference, because not only are they building up their passive right now, which is building up that key +6, and the attack and defense +66%, which of course is also going to give, not attack and defense +66%, that's when our HP is at 66% or less. We're building up the 66% dodge chance as well, which of course they can actually utilize here, which with stacking their defense the entire time is great. So hopefully the dodge chance does pop for us, because otherwise we could be taking some damage. All right, 25k here, 2 stacks is kind of to be expected a little bit. But definitely getting them early, definitely getting them to appear on turn 1 and having 2 turns worth of stack rather than just 1. Again, like, think about it this way. It's not like they're super attacking once, maybe even just twice. No. They're super attacking a total of like potentially 3, 4, maybe even 5 times if we had them appear on turn 1. And that would have been twice. So that's a lot of stack to build up. That's a lot of stack to miss out on. That's also a lot of build up in their passive to miss out on as well. We could have had that fully ready to go before we went in against KALE. But I said, more importantly, that's a lot of stacking of defense we're missing out on just because they've appeared on turn 2 rather than turn 1. So definitely getting them early, definitely getting them to appear on turn 1 is a huge benefit at getting them to build up even quicker and basically having them ready before KALE shows up. You know, of course, we're going to be stacking defense for as long as we're in the event, which is great, but some extra padding wouldn't have gone amiss. And as I said, it would have built up their passive by the time we got in against KALE as well, which means their key would have been ready to go, but more importantly, their full 66% dodge chance would have been ready to go as well. So not having that kind of fully built up by the time we go into KALE is going to be a little bit of a... They're a little bit risky, but, you know, can't really do anything. Big counter from Gamma 1, though. Love that. Headbutt him. Bang. Hold that. Don't know how you headbutt one of them and it hurts all of them, but, you know, fair enough. But yeah, now it's time for these guys to put in work. Okay, you've sealed Godku. Okay, so they're currently on 240. They're on 240k defense, which is obviously not enough, so we are going to pop a Whis. We're going to do this. We are unfortunately not going to give all that key to KALE CAULIFLA, so we're going to miss out on the 18 key. So we can give all of this to God Goku. Not only can we heal a little bit, or actually, to be fair, a decent chunk. The important part is God Goku's going to guard, and considering he can't super attack this turn to stack up himself, I'd rather him have all those key spheres over KALE CAULIFLA hitting an 18 key super. So we're going to stack probably, what, at least twice with a Whis active before they get hit. I'm not going to lie. I think even at this point, I think even with a Whis active, I feel like they would still take a lot of damage on a super, and we'd probably maybe even die. Yeah, even on basics with a Whis right now, we're still taking 13k on a basic, which isn't too bad because, of course, Call Core does hit quite hard. And all they have to depend on is literally just pure defense. Like, they're not getting anything else. Aside from, of course, the dodge chance, but that's if it does pop. So, taking that amount of damage isn't actually the worst if you really think about it. Like, it's not insane. But as I said, considering all they have to rely on is literally just their defense, their just sheer amount of defense, because that's all they've kind of got going for them. As I said, apart from the dodge chance, it's not bad. It's not bad. But with a Whis active, I can easily admit that it could be better, right? Like, with a Whis, to be fair, they only stacked once, again. They didn't even stack twice. They stacked once. The additional super didn't pop. We got the additional, we just didn't super on it. So, yeah, it could have been better. With a Whis taking 13k isn't the best. It's not the worst. As considering you're just purely relying on defense with these two right now, it's not terrible. And this is one thing that's probably going to be a major issue with them going in against Xin Shenron. Like, 400k or like over 400k on a basic straight away when they don't even have 200k defense to begin with. And even after a couple stacks, they still don't have enough defense to handle Xin Shenron's basics, and 900 and something k on a super in the very beginning. Yeah, waiting for them to stack in against Xin Shenron is going to be a risk. I'm not saying like they can't, you know, they can't do it. You wouldn't be able to like beat Xin Shenron with them, but it's definitely a risk. We're up to 323k right now. Again, it's just not quite enough, so I'm actually going to pop another Whis. We're now completely out of items, so I'm hoping the additional supers are going to start popping, because we need the extra defense right now. One thing's for certain, once they super attack now, or whenever, how many super attacks they do, basics with the Whis now are guaranteed to do double digits after taking 13k the turn prior. 5.95 million attack stat. That's probably because we don't have the extra 66% attack and defense while also being on a 170 lead. But there's one super big 3.4 mil crit. We're not hitting the super attack again. And we're not dodging either. Damn, what's this gonna do? A lot. Damn, no dodge. That was fully built up as well, and we hit no dodge. That's crazy. All right, we're back. We literally only have this attempt and one attempt afterwards. Again, I would love to have the whole anniversary format of not having like attempts are capped. We did actually get KALE CAULIFLA on turn 1, which was great. The only thing is, we hit Bird Crew's revival on their second appearance, so we didn't get them to stack up whatsoever. But so they're on 341k defense right now. There is one attack in slot 1, but just to be safe, so we don't have a repeat of what happened last time, even though if we do get a super, they're still going to die, I'm going to have the Whis active just in case. And I'm pretty sure we should be at their threshold right now, so we should have the extra attack and defense. So we do have the extra 66% attack and defense. So, oh, Jesus Christ. Imagine that, choking on your own words, choking on oxygen, bro. Like the thing that's literally meant you, like allows you to live. I almost like choked on it. Wild. So yeah, they do have the extra 66% attack and defense, so they do have a little bit more, you know, defensiveness about them. And they are going to do a bit more damage, and they should have their guaranteed additional super. So that means they will guaranteed get an extra stack up here no matter what. By the end of this turn, their passive should be fully brought up as well, with a full key +6 and the 66% chance to dodge. Can we hit back-to-back crits maybe? Just for some extra damage? As I said before, the amount of damage they can do to enemy health bars is great. Like, doing this type of damage to enemies, their health bars just tumble. It's just, you know, just solely relying on them stacking because of how much damage Cooler Core does. And yes, you're locked into the Cooler Army phase, so you do have time to build them up somewhat. Relying on dodge chance and just solely stacking, it still does allow them to be hit. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So we have a Whis active, which is good. My gods haven't stacked. which is a shame, but we're just gonna have to roll with it. So we're gonna do this. Actually, I probably could have got away with putting Dokkan Fest God Goku in slot 1 with all the key spheres he needs and then dodging and stuff, and then put EZA Tech Goku in slot 2. That probably would have worked better because then he would have supered, and we have a Whis active. Nonetheless, it should still work out fine because Dokkan Fest Goku's going to stack twice, maybe 3 times as the 5 additional hits, but guaranteed twice. He's got the guard and he's got the full dodge chance with a Whis active. So we're still fine. And of course the blues are going to be okay at the end because of the super, and we disable Cooler's enemy action, so then they're not even going to be touched. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully KALE CAULIFLA is going to feel like dodging this time around as well. Damn, okay. Goku doesn't want to feel like dodging this time though. We good? I hope so. Yeah, we're fine. I mean, we don't have a lot of HP left, so hopefully we don't get super attack next time, but we're fine. We survived. You know, as Destiny Chow said back in the day, I'm a survivor, we never give up. The next turn is probably going to be the last turn we see KALE CAULIFLA do anything, because we're either going to die or we're going to finish it the turn afterwards. But they still do well here. Their damage helps them a lot to actually make them be useful here. Right, we're definitely going to pop this. Yeah, their damage helps them be useful, and so does their dodge chance once it's fully built up. We're up to 484. I think basic attack wise, I think I'm even going to pull it up just to be safe. I think basic attack wise, we're on 484k. We do have the extra attack and defense plus 66%. But I am going to check how much damage Cooler Core is doing on basics right now, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I feel like they should be okay. So Cooler Core is doing 430k on a basic. So yeah, on a basic we can tank with no item. 1.634 million on a super though, yeah, we kind of have no chance of tanking against that, even with a Whis active. I mean, off a couple more stacks, if we had a Whis, we could still survive but still take a chunk, or we could actually dodge it. That is also another thing. So I'm actually just gonna take the risk. Okay, I'm gonna pop this because that's gonna get rid of one of the attacks in slot 1 against Birdku. And just because either way we will die by a super, I am just gonna let KALE CAULIFLA just tank without an item active to show that they can tank a Cooler Core basic. Oh no, their active don't do that. It's Birdku's. Silly me. We've already used Birdku's active. But I'm going to not have an item active just to show them tanking Cooler Core's basic, because they can tank it, which is great. They're also going to get a few stacks up to 7.14 mil. Again, that is the extra attack and defense plus 66% we've got for having our HP at 66% or less. Really? This 50% chance of launching an additional super just isn't happening for us right now. Like, this is what's got us killed last time, because it didn't help us stack a lot. We're missing out on some important defense. It's not popping for us, and I don't know why. Damn, the additional supers just aren't happening, but there you go. There you go. Basics, they will tank him just fine. There's also a dodge chance. Of course, there's a possibility they can dodge him supering, which is great. Not something you want to consistently depend on, though, because as you saw the first time round, them not dodging got us caught, and I'm pretty sure they were either close to be or fully built up at that point. But there we go. They are still viable. They can still work really well against Cooler Core, but they can be easily caught against him just because he does so much damage. Because of how many times they super attack, the basics won't be a problem pretty quickly or after a while. And again, especially if you can get them to appear on turn 1 against the Cooler Army phase, you should be good. Like, after one turn in against Cooler Core, they should have enough defense, especially if the additional supers are popping, and especially with the combination of dupes as well. If the additional supers pop, they should have enough defense pretty quickly to handle Cooler Core's basics. But like a lot of the non-top units in the game who have guard, or like, you know, Godku's kind of level of versatility when it comes to defense, damage reduction, those kind of things, or super attacks and just gets a ton of defense, you know, his super attacks will still catch them. That kind of applies to most units in the game. But as I said, with all the possible additional supers, basics, they tank just fine, which is great. They can also dodge his supers as well, which is a possibility. Didn't do it for us, unfortunately, but it still is there, so that's kind of a bonus in their book. And because of all the additional supers, and if you're hitting crits along the way as well, they can do a lot of damage to him, which is great. So they still done really, really well. We did take 2 attempts, but they still done very, very well. But let me know your overall thoughts down of EZA, KALE, and KALIFLA down in the comments. I'll see you next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.